Hello everybody. So today we'll talk about how to sketch without pencil, how to make ink without pencil. So because usually like I explain all the sequence with pencil structure, pencil sketch for composition or perspective grid. And today I will tell about how to draw like directly with ink. And this interesting, also very important topic I mentioned before, it's about what is kind of learning process, how it works. So, like my teacher tell me, he say every education it's self-education. So if we don't want to learn, nobody can teach us. It's like nobody can give you knowledge, it's not work this way. You can only take it, and teachers, like people, all this like experts, or books or any materials we can find around us, it's only this knowledge or theory which we can take. So it's kind of this mistake I see sometimes, like people going somewhere to study classes, like, don't know, like martial arts, fine arts, music, whatever. And they kind of feel they learning because they pay money for teacher and they kind of showing up once a week, or sometimes kind of they kind of feel they're in the process and something will happen in the result of this process. They totally miss the point because you will learn no matter how good teacher is. You will learn only if you have this interest, if you have a questions. So self-education is like when nobody around you, but you wonder and you want to understand something, so you uh, formulate kind of problems, formulate tasks, formulate questions for yourself. And we as artists is all we constantly doing. So like people ask, for example, like about perspective, how to improve in perspective, how to go from zero or from basic level, how to go to advanced level. It's always this way. You need to have this energy, kind of this interest first. Then you start to digging and looking for answers, right? So first steps, kind of, you like first moves is something like the most obvious. It's like you, for example, you go and buy a book about perspective, or you watching all these tutorials. Book is better because usually it's more possible. It will be better books than video on YouTube, because it's more work takes for author to make a book than for somebody to make video. Yeah, so anyway, my point is like first level, you scratch all the surface, you still not feel it's good enough, it's not all you need, you still don't get to this point you want to get. Great, okay, keep digging, keep looking for answers, and you can you will start to think yourself, you will start to think like kind of, how can I be better? What should I do? How to apply this knowledge, this theory I just read? Why in the books it sounds like this, but when I draw, it's like it doesn't work, or I do something wrong? Whatever, like important is like we have direction and we move towards this direction. It's hard. It's kind of this work only you can do. this work of trying and kind of and adjusting kind of. So you no, it's called like this feedback loop, right? So you try, you see what good, what's not good. You try to fix what's wrong. You you take what is good, and you do again next time. So from my experience, like 20-year drawing, like no, I mean just at least this like sketch on the streets drawing environment. Just have this intention to draw each next picture better than previous, and use all kind of skill you have from before and add something on top of it. Just only this intention it really make you each next drawing better than previous, and this it's movement towards kind of to the top. Talking like yeah. So and this kind of feedback loop is we have this kind of insights, right? Sometimes you understand something you already hear, or you already or you read somewhere, or you think you know it, but then you understand it again on the next level kind of. And then like how I understand like teaching, it's package kind of bundle of these insights. So like about perspective, for example, you cannot just buy one book which will explain you everything. It's impossible because we're like different. Everybody have like slightly different tastes, let's say, or some kind of preferences, what they expect or where they're aiming to. So you will always feel a lack of information for what you personally want, and it's super hard to put all stuff together. So everybody has this kind of situation when you spend in years to take some pieces of information from different sources, and then you have also this kind of insight. Say you say for yourself, say, okay, now I know how, if like how can I look back and explain to myself all this stuff I learned like in 10 years, but I can explain it like very fast. I can explain it like in one day, in 1 month, something like this. Like really just make this at least this bullet points, kind of like you need this, you need this, you need this, like, and then you will have like clear direction where to go and what to do and what to look at, what to focus. So, and here, like just a couple days ago, like I have this kind of insight, and I think like it will be interesting to share this moment in the process, kind of, because it was like this kind of thing in the back of my head, like all these years. It's just something kind of wrong, but I don't know how to spell it in the words, like something I want to fix, but I don't know how to spell it. And recently I just understand it's like just like gather like a puzzle. So I've been again, like I was a lot inspired by Tsutomu Nihei, so I've been watching his works from times to times a lot. So there have these early works and his recent works, and then I seen very interesting in his like last manga, I think Apozims. His style looks so different. I will find some video to show. Yeah, so, and it's just like impressed me how different it from what he did. Так, so here I have video on YouTube. You see Okay, here's he in Italy, so anyway, don't understand what here talking here. But here is like he takes this ink and on the empty paper he just start to making these short lines. Yeah, you see? So what he do? So instead of making like a long kind of, you know, very kind of in art college they always call this like confident line, you know. And so it's like you need to connect like starting point and the last point. So a longer line, cooler it is, kind of in when I was studying art college, you know. So you try to improve the skill to draw very long, precise lines. Uh, but this kind of required a lot of um, you need to have this like very strong clarity, like what happened kind of on the canvas. Like here with this technique, what now doing Tsutomu Nihei, this all these gaps between lines, it's this air which give you opportunity to add something afterwards. So it's interesting. It's something like, you know, like if paper it's a fog, and then you start to see how something like appear, like this landscape start to appear from this fog. You start to see, it's like clarify what is this. Yeah, later I will also do some my sketch. So this approach, it's it's so cool. It's very interesting, completely different kind of feeling when you draw. But background is a lot of the same. So anyway, if you have mileage with drawing, it's all applied to this technique. It's just only one small nuance here. I will try to explain now more details. So let's see. So here I have other video like how I draw in the metro, this Taiwan metro. And here to show you this my usual way of drawing. So you see it's kind of this kind of trying to make like whole line without maximum without breaks as much as possible. It's also without pencil, as you see. Okay. It's kind of cool, of course, to be able to draw like this, but I find it's kind of super hard to keep kind of maintain good quality of this kind of approach. And especially when you need to draw very fast, you need to really like warm up a lot before you will able to draw like this. You cannot just like, you know, just wake up in the morning and start draw this kind of stuff. You need to be in a constant warming up practice. Okay, so and then let's show this one. Oops, it. Так, ага. And this one I did yesterday. So I try to use this kind of new approach. Instead of making long lines, make short. And maybe it's like little exaggerated, but point is to no practice at least at first, just to train my brain to kind of absorb this idea. Yeah, here is this first again like a little creepy because I didn't warm up. It's just kind of my first sketch here in the metro. Also kind of example like when you draw and you want to give up from a first couple lines, you know. So don't give up, just keep sketching. And it's like every drawing have a bunch of creepy lines, and after when you finish drawings they're not so evident. People don't notice them. Even like Kim Jong-gi, some of his sketches, like you look, you think like they're amazing, perfect. But they're like kind of, you know, even wheels on a motorcycle, for example, have like multiple lines, kind of scratches, this kind of stuff, you know. So it's a lot of kind of problems even in the Kim Jong-gi sketches. Так, so make it faster. Yeah, so just to see, it's like you imagine, it's like image, you project an image on a paper, and it's like it's far from to be clear, but to kind of snap this image, pin this image to paper, you make some dots or short lines from there, here and there, and start to kind of be more and more clear. So I kind of purposefully little push myself, don't make this a continuous line and jump like from place to place. It's really helps to draw kind of faster and less be less perfectionistic, because with this kind of approach also, you know, it's called like use like minimum means to show something. So it's like you can show like beginning and end, and viewer will imagine whole object without you drawing it completely, you know. So it's like you see here, it's like, yeah, we imagine this one is like have a it's like one solid object, right? No, a human being, sorry. But practically it's all not solid, it's all this kind of empty space between short lines. So it's our brain just to connecting all these lines. And it's kind of important thing. I just and also like also I recommend I do this sketches in the metro sometimes, and like much better I think is to draw like composition. So it's like illustration, you know. So if you draw somebody, okay, just draw everything rest around. It's just nice exercise to compose people inside the environment, instead of making just, you know, like flying heads and flying like hands and all these details. Much more interesting is put them in environment. because you see it's also makes this kind of interesting practice. It looks like a camera shot, you know, like a frame from a cartoon. Так. So in here, so this it's this sketchbook. So you can see how I use it here too. So I was just jumping here, there, and then eventually build this kind of picture. It's I like it much more than I was always trying to make it like solid line, you know, and feel like I'm lost direction always. With this one, short lines, it much easier to catch silhouette. Again, I will kind of show this example of a process later. So this, you see, again, it's like so many, wait, where's my hand? Yeah, so many empty holes. So, and it's like how people like, they're like little foggy kind of, right? Like kind of like if it's fog in a forest, and then some composition center, he will be more clear and more busy kind of. So also have this one. Also interesting kind of, you know, this exercise to for artists is important, especially it's to keep looking for something, for a subject to draw, because you sit or stay on the metro, and after like 1 hour or 30 minutes, like nothing to draw because you already draw everything around. But it's mistake, like you can always draw something, you know, like I see, okay, so somebody sit here, I see his hand, her hands and legs, and then I add some details of environment. Nice kind of interesting frame. Again, I can be like frame in comic book. It's much more interesting than all this like standard boring frames, you know. This is purpose of drawing outdoors. It's to create absolutely like unique, original composition, original details. So, and here, what is interesting here was also, for example, like I was test this style in the car. It's church. Yeah, so in the car, I have a lot of video. I will give also link for my tutorials how to draw in the car. They're very short. But here again, you can see like how I was jumping around. But what is more interesting was it's to draw stuff I see outside car. This stuff is like impossible to draw. Like every time when I was trying to draw it like a Mobius, you know, it's like I start to draw this kind of long noodle line and car already left. So what should I do? Is like I start to making Frankenstein from different cars. So anyway, it's like more like visual memories than actual kind of drawing from observation, right? So this kind of method, it's make it perfect for this kind of stuff, because I nothing actually draw here. It reads like a car. It reads like environment. So it's like, it's clear enough, but it's not much detail to be kind of stuck in them. So I like totally not stuck in details. So you see like all this stuff here. So it's give you a nice tool to make very fast kind of visual notes, you know, for something like when everything change very quickly. You can really make like couple marks and you have like really something look like image. Good morning. Thank you for master title. Yeah, I'm okay. Thank you. Yeah, so what next? Okay, yeah, so let me draw. So here I will show you this one. So here, I'll try now to show an example with this picture. So how it works. Imagine it's like you start to так, like from general, from very broad kind of something, you start a kind of like a loading. Yeah, let's say like it's like a loading screen, like a rendering screen. Like I think like if you make 3D in AutoCAD or where 3D Max, I think like architects do this thing, you know, when they push render and pictures start to appear from pixels, kind of. So here we're kind of doing this process with uh, details appear from nothing, kind of, and it start from something like very blur, like if you have like um, bad eyesight, you know, so you see very blurry, and then it start to more and more be more and more detailed. So, and everything like I usually mention in a previous video about perspective grid, about composition, about shapes, all this is work here. So it's happen in artist head, kind of, you know, instead of using pencil to establish it on paper. It's just I kind of projecting it on a paper without drawing it. Так. So I choose like a really busy picture, for example. So like if talking about this from going from general to particular to detail, right? General is like general volume, like placement, like area, right? So it's like if I have vehicle here, okay, so I make some kind of general size of this vehicle. So I just like make note of general kind of proportion of the shape, and later I can back to this shape and make it more clear. So it's still all about shapes. Так. In this way, it's also interesting, like this breaking lines also is in help to avoid you know, it's like kind of boring habits when you just keep drawing same shapes all the time. So also like when it's like this small dots, they're so abstract and so small, so they will totally lost inside drawing, and nobody will see them anymore if they're wrong. If they're correct, they will become part of shape. So there's also call this like mind flow drawing, or I hope I say it correct. It's like, let's say, when you just drawing stuff from imagination without any plan, without any um, script, or even like if you have script but you well, it's a lot still need to be figured out in the process. This kind of drawing also helps to work it this way, because you can make these marks and then add new details in the process. So let's say cars here, right? So I just show, okay, here is a bunch of something. So here, this thing where to put, I can put here. So it's also work in a way like when you have a fear of empty paper. So slowly filling paper with information um, relieve you from this kind of stress. So from state of like when you feel like you will never draw it, like it's impossible, you slowly go to state of mind when you feel like it's possible, you can do it, and then you just go to stage when you work on how to finish it. So it's often kind of this struggle. Like I've been make mural, like what's it called, 3D mural on the wall. First time in my life in a restaurant with acrylic. I was very nervous. I was super unconfident, kind of like in all day people behind me, like walking around, looking, talking something. And like almost all day I was feel like it's impossible. I was just like, no way I can draw this thing. I should to apologize and go away. Like really, like I was super um discouraged, kind of, you know. But I keep drawing. It's like in saying, like say, eyes, like eyes afraid, but hands keep doing. You know, so it's just like almost like a robot, like just ignore everything I feel and think like about quality of my work and whatever, and just keep making this like step by step, like what should I do first? Okay, do this. What should I do next? Okay, do this next thing. And then like more I do, like pictures start to more kind of appear on the wall. And in the end of the day, as I look, it's like it was already so many stuff there. And I kind of like, okay, actually, I definitely can draw this picture. Now I can see it. So next day I was come to draw with totally different feeling. I was just working on it. And the like last part of this kind of process is when you just having fun and making this kind of cosmetic details. Oh, it's just kind of a sign of challenge. So if you do something you didn't do before, of course it will be stressful. But it will be too boring to avoid kind of this stressful situations. Again, stop myself from going too much into detail. So here, train. Mm. So again, make like couple marks to kind of indicate where is car, what kind of general proportion of it. It give you idea of composition, and also you can always back to it and add some more details. So I send this train. Okay. I can with this approach I can always control in the process how much I want to add details. So it's again, it's like need some practice to get this feeling of balance, like how to not go in details too early. So don't jump in details from beginning, like keep it for last stages. Kind of making all this like marks more and more, you are preparing ground for working on details. So here what we have this kind of round for trees, and we have like straight lines for buildings. Oh, and this tree is also important to remember what happened. It's overlapping. So we have this bunch of trees closer here. Then we have like other bunch behind, other bunch behind. So kind of keep in mind all the time how space arranged. So because space is not only about convergence and proportions, it's also about overlapping. Making overlap is also important kind of element to show space. because when it's something behind other stuff and something in front of something other, then we have kind of depth, sorry. So when important here is like when you thinking about this, you really show it in your work. You can show what do you think. You cannot show something you don't think about. So it's always represent your thinking process. So more clear you think about what you show, more clear your image. So here it's like traffic jam on the 5 dimensions. Multi-universe traffic jam. Have traffic jam on all bridges and freeway. Yeah, if we will have flying cars, then all sky will be traffic jam. Так, let's see here. So here again, I have this kind of thing. So better I show stuff like that. Show stuff here, stuff here. I need to learn some Japanese words so I can speak Japanese while I draw to feel more like Tsutomu Nihei and Masamune Shiro. So, oh yeah. Так. End up on the live stream. Sit down comedy. So I see I start to give more shape of cars for these marks. Also I bring them more volumetric form. So this kind of iterative approach is I don't know what to say. no, it's kind of key for every technique. It's a sequence. You need to know what is a sequence, like different material, different sequence, or no, material and subject, what you work on and what material you use. So then you will have sequence you can use for the subject with these materials and some maybe particular requirements extra requirements you have. So now I want to kind of show this freeway movement here. So I need to make sure it will be readable. So it goes. This is train. Then train here. Then so under train we have this. Then this is here. Yeah, with this method, drawing people in metro much easier. But so again, I kind of choose this picture because usually I will draw it with pencil. So as extreme example, I just want to show that it's possible to draw without pencil completely. So it's kind of very universal technique. Kind of you can draw everything with that. Like we see Tsutomu Nihei, he just add up details, and you can add a lot of details, just build up above each other. You just have this kind of general composition and empty space for just to give opportunity to put some details afterwards. Something completely uncertain here. So yeah, this kind of also drawing general shapes also important, have important benefits, like when you compose multiply objects. So let's say like these cars here. So I can kind of show how they scatter it around, like how it's like a gradient of cars. So here it's like super crowded. So I try to kind of, like again, like I told before, like a pattern. So I try to make this kind of pattern, which is look like many cars here. And we, again, it's like a bunch of lines, but trick is to make this bunch of lines to start to look like a cars. So when it's go closer, it should be more closer to us here, to first plane. It should be more figurative, less abstract. So we start to recognize some kind of quality of cars. Something like a windows. Building here, and don't want to draw too much details. So same like lines, also same thing works with the shapes. So if like lines, something like this, like dots, like little longer lines, right? Then like black shapes. So it might be like some big area, some kind of dots, right? So we all kind of arrange in this abstract composition while making verbal visual image. So let's say again, it's like kind of, it should be this kind of intention and exercise to push yourself a little bit to see it that way. Don't try and all the time to draw realistically. Push it to this kind of exercise of drawing obstruction. So here I look like here is some kind of shadow, and I like how cars appear from it. So, and this car is only have this headlights. So have shadows. So I actually did a lot of this kind of approach, but I'm only again, like I say, it's this spiral of understanding kind of, and when I did it before, I I didn't think about breaking long lines. I didn't see this kind of problem, you know, exist. And here it's like now I aware of it. So before I was doing this thing, like when I was making like dots with ink, like when I like don't use pencil, I will make like dots just to make myself like general map where is what located on the paper. But now I see it's like it's not only about dots, it's about breaking shapes kind of on this like broken lines instead of trying like constantly to pursue kind of this line when you will with one line draw a whole shape. It's kind of it's interesting challenge, but it's little limit yourself from making interesting shapes too. And not only interesting shapes, it's also uh, it's also like have a different quality. I will show you. I have other example later. I will finish this drawing and I will show you other interesting example. So this also interesting answer for problem when we have a lot of details and we kind of like jumping into all these details, like, and they became all separated from general picture. So instead of being unite, they all kind of cut off from picture, right? So that's why it's important to go from general to particular, because kind of working from general to particular, we kind of like connecting them all together. Because we kind of in building this relationship harmony, all these details, all elements. So I don't lose like full picture. I constantly like clarify like all these elements. So you see this kind of stage now, it's just to making these details to clarify everything and kind of establish final level of details. So like for example, like kind of this area, I want to make it most detailed, and this one will be kind of more almost like this already. So train. Yeah, I'm not sure it's like how much is good example. Like, write me feedback, please, right now. Just is it like clear here or useful? Because I'm still like a little lost in details. It's really busy picture. Should be, I think, even more simple. Maybe gray will fix it. Let's try. Cool. Whoops. I'll go in. Need to faster finish. Oh. Remind me this first like video in a Terminator 2 in the beginning, like this traffic jam and a soundtrack. Oh, let me find it. Some little music. here in the darkness. Here, I like this one. Now, where is vehicle traffic jam? Ah, yeah. Yes, this.
这么油，吃这么油。
Oh, this one, yeah. This one. Okay, it was short. So here's like a little in the shadow this part. Так. Okay. Let's see what else. Yeah, so also what I want to show, it's how this method work with drawing people with characters. So I was like, here's kind of sketchbook where I practiced drawing characters like copy artist or from photo, just like and draw myself. And you see again, I use this approach of drawing long line. And somehow it's like I feel always a little, let's say like something wrong, like in the design or quality of lines. I feel something, some quality like not there, something not there. So it's like it's both in the process of drawing and in kind of finishing look, something kind of little odd, like not what I exactly want. Again, it's like example of this. What I mean when in the beginning is my particular untold characteristic which I aim into. So see, I kind of experimenting, drawing different characters, and then I finally tried this like a Tsutomu Nihei kind of thing. So you see, like here it's immediately like change. This one it's keep like from previous kind of style when it's just like all is a clean line kind of. Look a little like a make from metal wire. And then when it's a broken line like this, somehow it feels like it's more integrated into paper. It's like a part of paper, you know, it's not cut away from it. It's belong to it. So you can see it's like somehow like little melted inside paper. And I like this kind of quality. Just this like little this kind of dissolving of lines, even this interesting feel to character, like it's became like here you can see again particularly clear. So it's like emerges from inside of paper, like you know. So it's not like being cut and glued to paper. No, it's come from inside, and it's like really melted together. And again here it's kind of a little force this approach to just experiment and train myself how to make it. I think it's great, and I like process much more. It give a lot of like new very very fine uh, different feeling, you know, to process itself. and results like more result looks more say more graphic, more stylized, or like less cartoony somehow. Here I need a bunch. And can draw a lot with this kind of approach, because like making long line is much more exhausting, because it's require more this like more control, more precision. You really like need to concentrate whole time, because you move in line and there's like little odd, and it's like it's you can see it very clearly. But when it's like many short lines here, there, it's easier to draw than one line for a whole figure here. But when it's like this kind of here and there kind of marks, then you like gather them together to clear shape. You make shapes much better, and process much more easy to kind of more fluent, So no, and you saw like my example with the sketching in Metro. Yeah. Okay. So that's it. See you next time. We'll see what YouTube will do with Terminator music, some copyright strike, or else we'll see reaction. Yeah, write me also comments. Like for me, comments to my videos is like birthday, very interesting to see people feedback. Yeah, very. It's like I kind of this person who always say like I don't care about people opinion, but it's really encouraging. Say true, it's encouraging. I like to see it's people somewhere who interested in my work, and if you have question, it's also interesting. Maybe I can sometimes I make a video to answer your questions directly. Yeah. So see you next video.